What's up, guys? Jesse Burdick here for powerwad.com and Morning After Mobility. Moving on to chapter 14, if you will, session 14, episode 14 of the Morning After Mobility project. This is the hanging elbow voodoo one. This is actually one of the more popular ones that I've done. I got a lot of calls and text messages and messages from everyone saying thank you for this, and it was just what I needed. And it always kind of happens that way, where this one I think is the worst. I hated this one so bad, but it was so effective, but it hurt me so much. But everyone else loved it because it was so painful, and probably because I hated it. So, juxt of everything, you're gonna need a voodoo band and some sort of a pull-up bar. The height is better off if you can kind of touch the ground a little bit, and you'll see why, because we're gonna kind of be spinning and trying to hang a little bit. So I kind of came up with this one in a couple of different ways. Voodoo band in the elbow is just great for me to go ahead and kind of get that elbow straightened out and get everything put back together after a heavy pressing session, whether it's heavy intensity or volume. My elbows kind of stiffen up. I have a real hard time kind of getting them to straighten out as much as I would like them to. So something I saw Chris Duffin, who was doing, because he has kind of some elbow stuff too, was he would just hang on a bar and just try and straighten everything out. And I thought to myself, I was like, man, you know, I get so much relief from voodoo banding my elbows. I wonder if I put those two things together, what we would end up with. And it ended up with some real magic here. Not only straightening out the elbow, but releasing so much of kind of our flexors and everything in our forearms. It was really pretty awesome, especially if you can go ahead and push the real ends of this stretch. This is probably the simplest thing you're gonna see here, the easiest setup. Get a nice tight wrap, top of the forearm, elbow itself, lower bi-tri. And then what you're gonna do, reach up, grab on. What I want you to do is just gradually try and give yourself as much weight to hang as you can. And once you get there, once you kind of start to feel it pulling in your lat and your bicep, chill out there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to start turning. We're going to turn both ways, and we're going to try our best to keep our hand intact and not let it open up a little bit. And all we're going to do is go ahead and turn and move from there. So we're turning here this way. You get a ton of relief stretching through here. And kind of hang, make sure we're leaning down. We're going to go ahead, spin back to normal. We're going to go ahead and spin away. This one's the hardest one because you're going to get a lot of pressure kind of going through your pec and kind of in your shoulder. So take it easy. Don't spin at any sort of fast rate. Spin at a nice even keel. And back to here. And then you're just going to try and give yourself more and more weight. So some strategies there is just lift one foot up as you go. So now you're responsible for a lot more weight. And then back to normal. You can usually go about 2 or 3 cycles around before your grip is going to really start to suck because of you're holding on, you're trying to hold on to a lot more weight. But you also have a voodoo band, which is cutting off a lot of blood flow. So to kind of release this, don't let everything go at the same time. Kind of get both feet on the ground, and then go ahead and stand yourself up, and then start to release your grip really gradually. I found that if you release it really, really quickly, it ends up kind of hurting your shoulder, like almost your labrum wasn't really ready for it. So once you've done with that, pop off the elbow, pop off the band off your elbow, and go ahead and repeat the same situation without the band. Kind of feel the difference. Then let that blood flow go ahead and drain back and kind of start to move around and get that elbow straight and popping and everything the way that it should be. So this can be very useful for any of our overhead athletes, any of our pressing athletes, after a day of just heavy volume, heavy intensity. And it's also really great. I used it the other day for someone who's with a front rack problem. So this is going to help kind of release a little bit of issues in our elbow to get ourselves in a good high elbow front rack position to do any of our front squatting or cleaning when you're catching or doing anything like that. So it's very useful across the board. So again, very easy setup. All you need is a Voodoo band and a pull-up bar. Grab on, spin around. Again, the time on this is going to vary wildly, so I couldn't prescribe you any sort of a time. It's just going to go until you can, until you can't go anymore, really, because grip's going to be a big issue for a lot of people. But it's also it's some pretty intense pain kind of coming through your elbow and into your flexors and just the elbow joint itself. So take it very, very lightly, move cautiously, wrap aggressively, move cautiously, and really kind of let the band and let gravity do the work as much as you can. And just try and spin very, very slowly so you don't aggravate anything really, really quickly, and just ease into things. And again, if you'll find yourself wanting to pull up, just really let yourself kind of lay and sit back down. And that's going to get the biggest stretch and the biggest release out of your elbow. Try that. Let me know what you think, guys. Good luck.